In this video we're going to look at sounds. This is the last stage of the game other than exporting the game to an exe. So we're going to look at sounds. So we've got a couple of sound effects that I have created from the last video, and I've put those into my or imported those into GameMaker, and you can see those sounds at the side here. So I've got a sound to collect an object, so that's when I collect a gem. I've got a sound if I destroy an enemy. I've got a sound to play if I lose the game. I've got background music. I've got sound to play if I shoot a bullet, and sound to play when I win. So if I just open up one of these objects, because these are still objects. Okay, this is the lose. So if I press play on that, okay, you can hear that my lose sound is like that. My background music, if I press play on that, okay, that's my background music. It's a 3-second piece of music that we're going to loop. Okay, so let's have a little think then about background music first. When I start the game, like this, I don't want background music to play on this screen. Okay, I don't want background music to play until I click that start button, and that's when I want my background music to start. So how do we do that? Well, we need to make sure that we are only starting the music when we click that start button. So we're looking at specifically this button here. Okay, this is where we want to start the sounds. So if you remember in the last but one video, when we looked at creating the user interface, we created some objects, and in here I have some buttons, and I have a start button there. Okay, this is my start button, and what we programmed this to do is when we left pressed the mouse button on that start button, it goes to level 1. Well, I can also play audio from there. So what I'm going to do is just type in audio to bring up my sorry, I didn't mean to press enter there. I bring up audio to bring up my audio tools, and I've got play, stop, stop all audio, pause all audio, and so on. We're only going to be dealing with these two, play and stop, these two only. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to click and I'm going to drag my play audio into this window. Now I'm going to select my sound file. So the one I'm looking for is SND music. Okay, and I want to make sure that I loop it. If I don't loop it, it's going to play for 3 seconds and stop. So make sure you click that loop button. Okay, all right, let's try that. So play in the game, start the game, and then my music starts. So if I do that and I lose all my lives, what's happening now is the music is still playing over the lose screen. And what I want to do really is when I lose, I want to stop the music. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to think of a way in which where are we checking to see if you've lost lives. Well, all of the game coding, really, how the game actually runs, is coded in the controller GUI. So if I open that up, and the step event is the one where we check to see if the lives were 0. And you can see here that it says if lives equal to 0, then we're going to switch room. If we're in room level 1, we're going to go to the lose room, level 2 to the lose room, and so on. So what I want to do is when this condition is met, the first thing I want to do is to stop the music. Okay, so I'm going to stop my audio. So if I just type in audio again, all right, and there's stop audio. And if I click and drag it onto this one, it should put it above there. And then what I'm going to do is select my sounds, and I'm going to select my music, because that's what I want to stop. So let's try that. And there you go, it stops the music. Okay, so now what I want to do, obviously, is when I get onto this lose screen, I want to play the lose sound. Now you'll think, okay, if you want to play the lose sound, let's just put a play audio here, and let's play the sound lose, and that's it. That's fine, that's done. Well, okay, let's try it. So I'm going to start the game. that's not how the lose sound goes. If I play the lose sound, okay, it sounds like this, and that's it. Okay, so that's obviously not going to work, and the reason why that's not going to work is because that is running in the background even after we switch rooms, before we switch rooms. So what we need to do is to play that sound when we switch the room, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is click, and I'm going to drag that here, go to room, put this one above, there we go. Okay, so we got that one there, so we're going to have to repeat this now in each room. So I'm going to paste that one in there, and I'm going to paste that one in there. So now what I've got, I don't play the lose sound until I actually go to the room. Okay, because what's actually happening is playing the lose sound before I switch the room, and it's glitching. It's going into a repeat. So let's try that and see if that now has solved that problem. Okay, so. Now you can hear that has worked properly. So that's dealt with the lose screen. Let's deal with the win screen. So again, we've got at the bottom here the has apple and lose HP. So what this is checking to see if we've got the golden apple, and this is checking to see if the boss HP is equal to 0. And of course, you may only have one of these, and if you have, that's absolutely fine. So what we're going to do here is exactly the same as we've done up here. The first thing we're going to do is to stop the music, because the music will still be playing. So I just show you that very quickly. Let's start the game. Let's go to the last level. Okay, let's go get that apple. Because that top one only stops the music if the lives is equal to 0. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to come to the bottom of the screen, and underneath here, just above the switch, we're going to paste that in. Oops. Going to paste that in up here, there, and that will stop the music. Okay. So again, then after this section, when we switch rooms, we want to play the win tune. So we're going to play audio underneath here, and we're going to play sounds, and we're going to play win. Okay, so let's try that. Start the game. Go. So that's worked perfectly. Now what we'll do, we'll go and have a look at the shoot sound. So what we want to do is to make that sound, or run that music when we shoot a bullet. So what we need to do is to come off OBJ controller, and we're going to go on to let's get rid of that, the start button, and let's open up our playable object. Okay, and what we want to do is to, when we press the space key, which is the one that we use to shoot the bullet, we want to create the instance of the bullet, and we also want to play the sound, and we want to play the sound shoot. So let's find the shoot sound. There it is. Okay, let's go and test that to make sure that's working. It's a good idea to test each thing as you do them, otherwise you might find that things don't work. Yeah, that shoot button is working fine. Okay, so we know that that is now working. So let's then look at the collect sound. So we want that to play when we collect an object. So we need to set a collect sound on each of these objects that we collect in game. So we might want to select one for the key, one for the gem, one for the golden apple. So let's deal with them in turn. So OBJ gem, okay, we're going to destroy the instance, and then we're going to play a sound. Okay, so we're going to drag that into there. Oh, let's go underneath. There we go. And we're going to play sound, sounds, collect. Okay, so there's the first one done. Okay, let's have a look at the others. So red gem. So again, we want to play sound, and we want to select the select sound, collect sound, sorry. Okay, let's close that one down. Let's do the golden apple. We'll go and test these in a second. We want to destroy the instance, and we want to set the sound to collect. And then the last one is the key. And we'll do the same thing again. Play a sound. What sound do you want to play? We want to play the collect sound. So let's go and test those out. So let's go and collect each one of those objects to see if it works. Okay, start the game. Key. Excellent. Red gem. Lovely. Blue gem. Yeah. That's lovely. So let's go back up to the exit. The only thing we got left to test now is the golden apple. Okay, let's go and test the golden apple. Lovely. So they all work. There's only one sound left to do now, and that's the destroy. So we want to play the destroy sound when we destroy an object. In other words, when we shoot a monster or an enemy. So let's go and have a look at those. So this is going to be with the collision events. So depending on how you've coded your collision events, I've done a child and parent object. If you haven't done this, you're going to have to select each of your objects in turn, and where you've got the destroy instance, you're going to have to put your sound in there. So what I want to do is to, hang on a second, that's the wrong object. Let's have a look at the bullet object. Let's see, bullet object, there's the bullet object, there we go. So when we collide with the enemy here, sorry, okay, so when we collide with this, the bullet collides with the enemy, we need to destroy the instance. So that's what we've done here. So we're destroying the bullet, and we're destroying the monster or the enemy, and then what we want to do then is to play the destroy sound. So it's on the bullet object you need to do this. So I'm going to insert the sound. Let's move this over just a little bit. Insert the sound underneath the destroy instances. There we go, and I'm going to play the sound destroy. Okay, so that's that one done. Like I say, you will have different, if you haven't done it the same as me with the parent and child objects, then you will have a number of enemies where you will have to select each one individually and play the audio for each enemy that you have. Okay. With the boss object, we need to make sure we go into the OBJ boss. So if you haven't used a parent and child object like I just explained, then you'll have to do this for each of your enemies. You can see I've got 3 enemies here, but these are all taking instructions from this parent object. So if you haven't got a parent object, this is what you'll be doing. You'll be going into your enemy. So I've because my enemy is completely different to my boss, sorry, is completely different to my enemy, I've created its own object, and you can see that when it collides with a bullet, okay, we destroy the instance, and then we start removing hit points. So this is destroying the instance of the bullet. It takes 20% off, or 20 out of the 100 off the boss hit points, which starts at 100, and it checks to see if it's equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, we want to destroy the instance, plus then we want to play the sound of destroy. Okay, so let's go and try those things out then. So we should now have a working game. So let's click start game. The music's playing. Right, there's one other thing we haven't done, that's to lose life. So we'll do that one in a second as well. So you can hear that the sound's working for that. So let's have a listen to this one. It should make a sound until it's destroyed. Perfectly. Okay, and there we go. So if I restart the game and start again, there we go, that works lovely. Right, so let's close this down. So we want to play the destroy sound as well when we lose a life. Okay, so we need to play a sound if we collide with any of the enemies. So let's go onto our player object. Okay, so if we collide with the boss, we want to destroy the instance, and then we want to play a sound, and we want to play the destroy. Okay, and also when we are in the when we hit the other enemies, so there's these ones here up. Okay, if the enemy collides with the player, then we need to also play the same sound. But of course, I have set up the collision event with the OBJ enemy. You might have 3 different collision events with different enemies, so you need to do that for each one. So this is where we destroy the player. It creates the player back at the X and Y start, sets lives to -1, so it takes 1 off the life. So underneath here, we're going to play the audio, and we're going to select the sounds, destroy. So let's test that out. So let's just try and get destroyed by 2 different enemies. Okay, that one works. So let's go to the other one and see if this one also makes it the same when we're destroyed. If I can actually catch the enemy. There we go, that works perfectly. Okay, so now we have a completely working game. I hope you found these videos useful. Thanks for watching them, and best of luck creating your game.